Good morning, guys. Jim Squares here again, bringing you some more money solutions. Want to help your kids understand how to handle money? I got some tips for you. So, first, make sure you like and subscribe down below, share with others, and we'll get right on with this money hack. So, the way I have explained this to my children in my whole thought process is to anytime you get money, these are your employees. They're here to work for you, and then they don't quite get that quite yet, but they understand you going to work every day. So you explain to them, go, hey, you know how I go to work every day? They go, yeah, and that's how I get money. And they go, yeah. And you say, do you want to get money? And they're like, yeah. You want to get more? And they're like, yeah. So once you get through all that, like that basis, like helping them attach it, saying, well, you go here and you get something in return. You can say, hey, every time you get that money from me or your grandparents or friends or birthdays or whatever, that there is you can do something with that. So I look at them and I say, in order to look at them correctly, you want to say, hey, these are your employees. And any dollar bill you have is one employee. Every dollar bill you gain is another employee. So dollar bills as an employee allow you to make money. And they're like, okay. And they're like, okay, they're following you so far because it's like $1, one employee. Try to make it simple. And then you say, well, what you want to do is you want to put these into companies. And so what that would mean is you would put them into stocks generally. You could pick a stock. I like it, index funds of some sort, small cap value. Those are my favorites. But any kind will do. Generally, a diversified portfolio because you don't want to sour them on this by choosing, let's say, Enron and then it all dying and crashing. So I would highly recommend staying away from one stock because you just want to get them in the habit of this and then to understand it. And you go, what you do is you put this money into companies, and those people they work all the time. You could tell them to work on things and make lots of money or very little money. It's up to you, and they have to do the work for you. They don't complain. They do exactly what you tell them. So, and that was kind of motivating. The one thing that did flip my kids a little bit more was to say, hey, if you decide to put money and buy into companies, you can pay for people like me. People my age will work for you, and they love that because it's like you're under their control. So you essentially have them under control because they're going there, they're working every day, and they're trying to earn money, and they will pay you a little piece of it because you're buying a little bit of the company and you're lending it to them. They're borrowing it for just a little while, and that was the key factor, the thing that really turned my kids into like wanting to be investors. Because they're like, wait, we can get kids that are people that your age to work for me. I like that a lot. And then I was like, yeah, people way older, way younger, everybody. You can get all kinds of people working for you. And you don't have to do anything. You just put the money into companies and you just let it run. And then definitely show them like the graphs, which I will get into that. I have a graph for you, the perfect graph to show that'll help explain some of that. But just some other key tips that you'll want to make sure is while keeping your money, your employees, you have a great opportunity to make more money. So the more you keep and the more you invest, the more they'll make. Because the more people you have working for you, the more you make. And that's a pretty easy concept for them to grasp. And the more employees you have, the better. And make sure your employees never sleep. And so that's one where I say, your bank account, or if you have something at a bank, it's sleeping. You're not gaining any money on that. That money barely grows. Your person's barely working for you. So you definitely want to have them work for you. Now, let's go over and check out the graph that you want to show them in order to help them understand like the benefits of going into companies. So here we go. Here's a graph. So I did the S&P 500, typical like a normal large cap measurement. And what you want to show them is like when you start over here with a little amount of money and where it goes, how much bigger it gets, how much more money you make. And this is over all time. So this is 81 to 2021. So this is a long time. And you have to say, overall, you look at the beginning and you look at the end. That's where you want to focus. You don't want to really look along the journey, except to know that sometimes those employees will look like you're losing money or they won't be making any money. Like here, there's a little stint where it goes down, but then it came back, and then it went down again, and then it came back, and it's just been going crazy. So this is things that you definitely want to show them and expose to them, because if you don't show them this, then they won't understand. You go, The way I frame it, whenever it goes down, is this is a discount. This is when you're getting it on sale. And you like getting more stuff for money. Like you buy 2 candy bars for the price of one, right? You like that, and they're like, yeah. And then that helps them understand. You go here, you could buy twice as many, or generally, like, yes, I'm not saying exactly right, but you've got to give them things they understand and ways of how they can truly grasp how the money is coming over to them. So that's what you want to do, is you want to associate it with things that they understand. Candy, or people working for you, or you going to work. The more you expose them to these concepts with things that they're already familiar with, the more they'll grasp it. So those are some of my favorite tips on how to help your kids understand how to handle money. I highly recommend it. I've done this with all my kids, and they all seem to do pretty well, and they understand. I show them the statements that we get on a quarterly basis, I believe we get from Vanguard, and I just show them it, and they kind of look at it, and they're like, "Whoa, I made this much money." I show them like where they make money, and I show them the graph of how it goes up and down. But in general, you can see the trend. It starts low, and then it's been a bump up when they add a little more, bump up when they add a little more, bump up when they add a little more. So I highly recommend it. So to continue learning, I highly recommend checking out my video on 4 ways to make $50 million. That'll help you a lot with your kids. If you have a little extra capacity, it's way easier than you think. So it's really surprising. In the meantime, keep growing together. Share this with others if you feel free that they could benefit. And we'll keep talking. Take care. Later.